Hello, everyone.
Hello,
I hope
hello.
everyone can hear us. Today, Felipe and I are going to be hosting this ecosystem recap. It's a pleasure to be with you here. We are warming up to get to delve into DevCon very soon. By the way, I'm already in Bangkok. I arrived here very
Nice.
early.
I'll fly out later in the week.
Nice. Nice.
It's always exciting. I think DevCon is the most exciting event of them all. I always leave there like energized, learning, having learned so many cool stuff.
Yeah.
See so many like passionate builders. So it's nice.
Yeah, and man, we are going through so much these days, huh? So many things happening in the geopolitical sphere, even in our industry on Ethereum. Um, there's again a war of L1s happening, and I think before we delve into Cartesi, we might say a few words about this, right? I'm sure you have some interesting, strong opinions about what's going on in the world of Ethereum compared to other blockchains as well.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
today there is a concern, right? I think Solana has been getting a lot of deserved traction as well. I have been very positively impressed by their very sharp business North Star. They have very clear business purpose. There is also a debate going about Ethereum losing some strength in the economy of ETH due to the L2s rollups on top of it. So I'd like to hear a little bit what you think about these things before we go into Cartesi and the role that Cartesi has in the industry from now on.
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, I'm very happy that Vitalik is back on the war, right? He's been posting a lot on Twitter. He released, I think it was five or six blog posts about the future of Ethereum. And I mean, though I do think Solana has some cool innovations, and I mean the devs are very strong. You can check out they have some new things to show up to show, right? Not like the usual L1 wars in which someone just clones Ethereum and increases the block size. But if you read the Vitalik's posts, I think like you'll be very impressed with the research that is going on behind Ethereum, their plans for the future. And I mean, I don't really buy this talk that the L2s are parasitic to Ethereum. I mean, what is Cartesi doing to Ethereum? We're just giving Ethereum the ability to run Linux, right? To run these complex, very different kinds of applications. But it's all running on top of the Ethereum infrastructure, the Ethereum ecosystem. We are part of the Ethereum ecosystem, and I, for one, I'm very proud of that. Uh, so
Yeah,
yeah, sorry,
I guess, I
go ahead.
guess there's certainly a problem here that the entire ecosystem needs to face, which is the problem of fragmentation, right? That's a big one, and really, I feel that's until we pass that painful stage, this painful stage, we are not in the ideal situation. So it's really high time for our teams, the teams doing L2, L3, to really collaborate. And I think we can be, feel proud that we are doing a lot of things and putting a lot of love and efforts on that front, working closely with our partners in that sense. But I think that's a huge one. I think fragmentation is probably the biggest issue that the Ethereum ecosystem is facing right now.
I totally agree with that. But if you zoom out and think about it, you'll see that, well, what was the main problem 3 years ago? Which was, I don't know, like proof of work. What was the main problem after that? It was like huge fees and the cost of using the chain, right? It was TVL and the number of active addresses. So we are constantly battling out every infrastructure problem that we have. And as a community, we come together and fix it, right? So now the main focus is fragmentation because we basically have most of the rest, right? It's super cheap to interact with the chain nowadays. You have so many like thriving L2 ecosystem systems. We have so many dApps, and tying back to the DevCon comment in the beginning of this conversation, I think it's so nice that it's gonna be our first DevCon on mainnet, if I'm not mistaken. And it's the first DevCon in which what we do is one of the key aspects being debated in the ecosystem, right? The alt VMs and the app chain rollups. So I think we're like in a prime moment to go there and show
Yeah,
people.
and I
Yeah,
think the challenge and the beautiful opportunity that we have right now is that for us to sort things out or fix things from now on, we really need to coordinate well between projects and teams, and I think that's quite new, right? Because before each of these teams were more or less on their own, and now there is a challenge, but also the great opportunity for these different communities and projects to come together and make sense to each other and coordinate things. So that's what we're going through. And today we're going to have the opportunity to also go into more details about this when the core teams give their updates. There's a lot of things going on in that front. So without further ado, let's jump into the next topic, which is the marketing highlights. So who is coming here?
I think Xian is gonna give us a pleasure of
Hello.
a Hey Xian, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? First time here, kind of nervous. I
Welcome.
am here. Yes, yes. I'm here to bring the latest marketing updates. And the past month has been all about prepping the road to DevCon and ETH Global. So it's been all about prep and production. As you can see on this slide, you can see the nice visuals. We're fully locked in to bring it back to the future with Espresso as well, this time for networking sesh number 3, Back to the Future number 3. To bring another night full of networking demos this time and some spice, which will be announced soon. Just know it'll be a banger of an evening. And we'll have some very, very interesting speakers on this event. So, very excited. And a little spoiler, I suppose, is that our own dear Augusto will be speaking on the side of Cartesi. So, that'll be spicy, that'll be fun. And of course, with that comes the swag. As you can see, the t shirt like peeping there through there. Wondering who still has the Brussels edition T-shirt. Do you guys, Felipe,
I do.
Eric, do you
Yeah.
still?
I'm gonna
Really?
I'm gonna rock that one to the event to show the
Oh
that I'm
wow.
an OG supporter of Back to the Future.
Well, you gotta collect the new one as well then to,
That's for sure. Yeah.
expand your collection. And we'll have a track at ETH Global, and of course, with that comes more swag. But also get ready to see a new fresh setup, booth setup, and some other activations, which we don't want to spoil just yet, but you'll see those on socials very soon. So follow us at Cartesi Project. Stay up to date with everything. All I can say is that there will be special swag, and also even more special swag for the builders hacking with Cartesi. And maybe, as you can see, that little robot there, maybe a veil too. If you've seen the ETH Global Cartesi prizes page, you should have peeped a little something for those who are on top of things that are very sharp. That's on the production side. Generally, keep tabs on the website to see more web pages being revamped. We're always updating and optimizing the website. And keep your eyes out for a new governance page going live very soon. And also wondering if people have been seeing the ads, the Radically Simple ads campaign. Have you seen, Cartesi, when you scroll through the socials?
I do sometimes. Yeah, it's always refreshing, always nice.
Which one is your favorite visual out of them? The Control V,
I like the
CV,
bread and butter. It
the
always
bread
makes
and
me
butter?
hungry. Yeah.
I see. I see.
Bread and butter is the
Well,
best.
yeah.
But yeah,
Well, that's it for the marketing highlights. I'll see you guys in Bangkok, and this penguin will also see you in Bangkok.
cool.
Oh,
So
nice.
There seems to
I'll
be a
get
lot of
myself one of those.
mystery
you'll
around here. Not even Felipe and I know the things that you are hiding there. So let's see.
sometimes things have to be a surprise, right, to keep the excitement high.
Nice. That's awesome, Xian. Excited to unveil all the surprises.
I know you want a cap. I just know. I know. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Cool. That's exciting, huh?
That's
I think
exciting.
we always kill it with the swag. So the swag is always amazing. And you know that I like to collect them from all the other projects as well. But there's
I
something
know.
about Cartesi swag that is amazing.
Yeah. You know that I lean more toward the minimalist side of things. I don't like to accumulate too many things because in the end I don't use them. So I select very well the swags.
Well, I just stopped buying any other kind of clothing. You know, I just get my clothing for free in crypto events. It's great.
All right. So in the
All
next
right.
blocks we have updates from the grantees, and then we're gonna have updates from the ecosystem. And finally, from the core tech, for
Yes.
whoever manages to survive until the end to hear the more nerdy stuff. So let's go through the grantees right now.
Can I just give one quick disclaimer?
Sure.
Yeah, so know that like the ecosystem recap and the grantee recap, it's not curated. So anyone that's building something on Cartesi can just send us a message, show up, and present what they want to present. And we always support everyone that's building anything, but that doesn't mean that we are vouching for that thing or like we're not curating or doing any kind of due diligence. We're just showing up, showing anyone that's excited to build with Cartesi. Let's go. Grantee updates. What's cooking on the app side? You see, there's a disclaimer here. Raw builds, no curation, no filter. Just straight up builders. Let's do it.
So I guess our first builder is Rives.
Oh,
Welcome,
nice.
it's next.
How's it
How are you
going?
doing today?
Doing good, doing good. Good seeing you guys. So not too many updates from our side. We've had like a big last few months. This month we've mainly been focused on polishing things. We will have some announcements, some updates soonish, but we've been doing a lot of smaller contests on Rives, partially with games that were built by community members, such as Edna Kebno's games, small prizes that people could try to claim, and we're kind of testing things. So we want to see how many people are showing up, and trying to find PMF of sorts, trying to figure out what attracts people, and how to smooth make the experience smoother as well. So we're working on a few things there that we can talk about maybe next time or even before that. Yeah, and I mean, long term, we want to, as I said, or as it says here, we want to try to identify sort of new, interesting models for games, for builders and players. I realized I didn't actually introduce what we're doing at all with Rives as well. So for anyone who doesn't have the context, we're building an on-chain fantasy console. So you can think of it like sort of a verifiable emulator that runs on Cartesi, obviously as a rollup. It's live on mainnet on base, and it can run a bunch of small games verifiably, small cartridges. So you can prove your scores, verify your runs in Doom or in other games. You can build games rather easily, a bit like how you would build games for retro consoles, in kind of constrained environments where you understand sort of the low level components. And yeah, so we're trying to create this kind of ecosystem, this a new type of console that inherits Web3 properties to the fullest, because it's built on Cartesi. And yeah, as I mentioned, we're running these small contests. People are building games, and we're kind of testing things from there.
And did you manage to convince people that Rives actually runs on chain? That Doom is running on chain? Or are people still finding it hard to believe?
I think people still find it hard to believe. We need to ramp up some content, I think, a little bit more. It's I feel like you need to try it. Maybe even in the lore, maybe UX wise, it needs to be a little bit more, have a little bit more friction almost. It's weird.
Yeah,
Because otherwise people think, oh, this is like a Web2 app almost. It feels like too
I
good
think
to be
Max,
true.
the problem of creating something unbelievable is that people sometimes don't believe you did it, right?
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah, so here we have a poster child of Cartesi, right? Because running Doom on chain is quite groundbreaking, and we see people claiming running Doom around oftentimes. But I would really challenge someone to run Doom as Rives is running Doom, like, and being able to verify complete matches on chain with the strong security guarantees of Ethereum. So that's quite unique. So keep an eye on Rives. And Max, thanks a lot for sharing. Keep
Thanks for
going.
having me.
Yeah.
And that's it for now. Let's go to the next one.
What's
Bugbuster.
next? Oh, another regular. Hello, Claudio.
Hello, guys. GM, everyone.
GM.
Oh, I think
I,
we
I
lost you.
think Claudio,
And
Oh,
now?
you were freezing for a bit. Hi.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Let me bring some good news from Bugbuster Workfront. So we are preparing the next upgrade for Bugbuster that will allow anyone to create their smart contract bounce on Bugbuster. This is a feature that we are willing for some time, and now it's time. So the next upgrade will provide an execution environment and tools for developers to build in their projects and create their own bounties. This will be nice because the feature now, the app will be more fitted for the Web3 audience. And then we expect that the community embrace it and push it to the next level, contributing with issues, with code mainly. So this is the first main update. And the second one was a very exciting and interesting one, that is that some guys from the seed grants program from DevEd forked Bugbuster and implemented a context like the app for machine learning models. So this was very interesting because first people find it useful for other purpose, and it indicates that bug buster can be generalized for other use case than the one that we are exploring. So we can do things on education, for example. We have a lot of code exercise that people submit code, and if it matches some criteria, at the end you can gain a certificate. We can do code contests. So we was nice to see these users that these guys brought. So kudos for them, and it was excited to see people checking a Bugbuster and seeing other usage that we are not exploring.
That's amazing. It's another one on the row of unbelievable apps, huh? I
Yeah,
got a
yeah,
yeah. I got
yeah.
a little
It's nice
sneak
to
peek of
see
the
people. Go
yeah.
ahead.
I got a little sneak peek of the architecture last week, and I was so impressed and so excited about Bugbuster. uh, I really think like bounties for smart contracts is something that's going to be so much fun, to create all kinds of like even tutorials, but also like bounties for actual live contracts, and so nice, especially in an industry that has been riddled with exploits and hacks, and yeah,
Exactly. Exactly,
that's so
and
nice.
there is this niche, this interesting niche that Bugbuster found, that is there are a lot of bot programs that are out there. They are good, but there is this type of problem that sometimes happen when there is this dispute between the white hackers submitting hacks that the project doesn't find it is really a bug, or they don't agree on the vulnerability type. And but there are some aspects that there is no dispute. We can do the assertion by code, and this can be very straightforward to check. Oh, it is really a bug bounce, so give the reward, and then everyone is happy because the project know now there is a vulnerability. They can fix it, and the white hat hacker can then receive the reward, look for other challenges. So I'm very excited about this useful DApp. I think the industry needs that more useful DApps that solves problems, that handles issues that matter for people.
Yeah, what I find really cool about bug busters is that bug bounties are fundamental, and security is so fundamental to everything we do in Web3. And yet, the systems that we had so far for bounties, they are all centralized. And
Yeah,
now with bug buster, you actually have something that's a bug bounty for Web3 implemented with Web3, right? So that's
exactly.
interesting, very interesting concept, very innovative. And also another very interesting, powerful use case to show how we can actually expand uh, the universe of possibilities of use cases in Web3 when we have a more expressive virtual machine. Very recently,
Certainly.
I have been seeing people, conversations on Twitter of people claiming that the last word in runtime environment should be the EVM. And while I certainly agree that the EVM is very powerful and probably the best fit for certain applications, is definitely not the right environment for a broad range of possible use cases. And you just talked about two, Bugbuster and Doom. Good luck compiling Bugbuster or any bug bounty using the EVM, and good luck compiling Doom on the EVM, right? So I think those are very good examples of the expressivity that Cartesi brings. And I think you guys are doing a very good job. Congratulations.
Yeah, and for you to have an idea, share for the others, to make it possible to run the smart contracts, we are compiling and have a production EVM running inside the Cartesi machine that is ref, and we have Foundry with its tools, Forge, Cast also running there. So it's very powerful what we achieved here.
That's amazing. And congrats on the fork. That's always something to celebrate when you have an open source repository, someone forks. That's a testament to the utility and to the value of your code. So that's nice.
Yeah, all kudos for those guys. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Claudio. It's a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
I always get excited talking about applications, Eric. Let's see another one. DCA Monster. Hello,
Hey
Pablo.
guys, GM, how are you?
GM, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, good. Happy to be here for my second time to give an update
Great.
on my project.
Always welcome.
Okay,
Next time you should bring a demo, man. We should.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well, so just to present it for maybe new joiners, DCA Monster is an automated market maker that allows to do the easiest DCA on chain, so dollar cost averaging on chain at the cost of a single transaction. No? That's the main point, the problem that we want to solve. And so this last month, basically, we've been integrating a new super powerful tool, which is Espresso, the decentralized sequencer that you will also hear about, I believe, after the presentations. And this is very exciting because basically it allows our users to have or don't rely on the finality issues. So basically having zero finality, no? Reducing the latency almost to zero of users' transactions, no? Users willing to swap a token in DCA Monster. So we've been basically integrating Espresso with their testnet TCAF successfully, and it's working very smoothly. So it's very cool to see it working and imagining how the user experience is going to be in mainnet. Also super important because this will reduce a lot the exposition of arbitrageurs, people that are getting in, getting out. They need to do it fast because they are basically capitalizing on these opportunities. And having Espresso allows us to have a much shorter exposition time for arbitrageurs. I will say less than some minutes, ideally less than a minute, will be the exposition. So that's going to be great as well. And on the other hand, the team is also working on a second deliverable of our grant, which is the synthetic tokens. And this is going to be also very cool. I will say we are halfway through it. And to give you a bit of an explanation, what these tokens, synthetic tokens, allow you to do or to get is exposition to the value of real world assets. So it's basically virtually equivalent to invest in, for example, Tesla stocks or Google stocks, everything on chain, and only with tokens. It's a super cool technology, and we are integrating it in our AMM. So basically, users will be able to do dollar cost averaging of any kind of asset in the real world. That's the objective, and it's going to be cool.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. I think it's a great example of things that can benefit from Cartesi's technology and also now from Espresso's technology. I think this with these two infrastructures, the DCA Monster can do very well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, congrats for all the progress. I like to see how things are shaping up.
Cool.
And it goes a little bit to what you talked in the beginning, Eric. It's so nice to see, Cartesi and Espresso working together to provide a great stack for a very innovative application, right? Because if you think about like these decentralized exchanges, we have had them for a while now, and none of them were able to do what DCA Monster is doing, which is to implement this very powerful strategy that is used everywhere, basically in Web 2, and bringing that to Web 3, right? It's an innovation on top of something that's already a staple of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's quite nice. Super excited, Pablo.
Completely. Yeah. I mean, in the end, they have the limitations of the EVM smart contracts, right? That have their constraints, their limits, and that's why they cannot implement this kind of design. No, this will be impossible in an EVM smart contract. Not what we are doing here, the kind of computation, which is not that huge or big, but it's just much more than what the EVM can do, right?
That's
so
awesome.
yeah.
So see you in
yeah,
DevCon, huh?
see you in DevCon also. We will be demoing the application, so stay tuned.
Awesome.
See you
Thanks
soon.
for coming, man.
See you soon, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So let's move on to Comet. Oh, a child from the experiment week, Eric.
There we go.
Hey,
Hello,
Hi,
Shaheen.
Eric. Hey,
Hi.
Felipe.
Shaheen.
So yeah, Comet, if you guys haven't heard about Comet, as Felipe mentioned, child from Experiment Week, we started in Experiment Week with this very basic idea. We had this idea of bringing people together, creative writers together, letting them write some piece of work, and then allow them to mint those piece of work as ERC1155 tokens. And while they do this, also have this sort of giving visibility to the best writers out there, and have this algorithm to have some Comet scores that also kind of everything, all of this runs inside Cartesi, all of the execution of the Comet. So this is basically the application, and from that very idea, it was very quick for us to just implement that in JavaScript. So from idea to execution, I think the time that reduces with Cartesi is pretty neat. And from there, we have come a little bit ahead. And last week or so, a couple of weeks, we have been testing like integration with Espresso. Now we want to take things towards more user-friendly side. So this is a social fun application. We want it to act that way. So anyway, we can do that by making transactions faster, by making them cheaper, by having a nice user interface. We have been cooking up those things. So we have been using Espresso for this faster user experience. And I won't be talking much about that. You will see all those things in Bangkok. If you're there, we'll also be demoing some of the cool stuff. So stay tuned for that. You can also follow us on X to have like all the updates about Comet. Apart from the Espresso side, we had some UI improvements on the front end. So you could see now better leaderboard with all the scores of your Comet people, how many people have minted your Comets, how many contributors have joined your particular Comet. All these things are now presented nicely. And we did a lot of data optimization. So whenever you are using Comet application web app, it will be faster to load. We did make some data optimizations on the size of reports that we have. So around those things, we did a lot of testing as well. So a lot of improvements there. And all of this, again, as I said, this is taking Comet towards a better UX. So for anybody who's using, for anybody who's creating some Comets on the web app, it'll be a better experience for you. And we also want to make it a more fun experience. So you could see these things going towards like This is in our bucket list, like having avatars for the users who are using this, having more of their reputation scores, things like that. So it becomes a tiny universe of Comet, if you will, things like that. So that's our bigger picture here for Comet. We want to make it a near Web2-like user experience that we have. We don't stress too much about signing transactions, spending too much on just basic submitting a post or something. And we want to give that social experience for Comet. That's pretty much it. Yeah. And one more thing. I've been cooking some tutorial series around Comet, how I built this particular application. So if you want to learn, if you're somebody who's willing to learn these kind of applications, follow our Comet channel on Twitter. You can find those videos and you can stay tuned.
That's awesome, Shane. You're getting some love on the chat. People are saying that they love you. So
Thanks
Oh,
for
nice.
the update, Fahim. Great to see this coming together. And speaking of collaboration and speaking of integrations on Espresso, there's also another team, Drawing Canvas, doing another project on Cartesi and Espresso, where people can also collaborate in the creation of raster images and produce an art together. So it's a very similar project in concepts like Comet, and both are working with Cartesi and Espresso. So with that, I think we close this module, and the next module is about the ecosystem updates. Can you go there, Felipe?
Yes. Hello, João.
Hey everyone, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Doing good.
Nice. So yeah, well, from our side here, there are quite a few things that we've been cooking in the last month, and there is some interplay between all of them, right? Of course, there is our regular podcast where we've been tackling modularity, and we had 2 great episodes with Luis from Shutter Network and Kyle from Avail. Go check that out if you haven't already. Very nice episodes. Philip is even participating in one of them. And
It's a pleasure.
the Avail one, right? And talking about them, there is some connection to what we'll do at If Global Bangkok. And we will be there. And we updated the If Global website's dev guide. So it's a great place for you to start learning Cartesi. If you haven't already, we even have tests there, questions and answers. And we created a full page of resources that we're putting together with our different video series, because we had one for JavaScript in Udemy, and we are now adding one in Python, one in Rust, one in Go, a more advanced one on JavaScript. So there's a lot of resources there for you to learn how to use and build with Cartesi, right? So if hackers want, they can get ahead and start learning and getting prepared for the hackathon.
That's awesome.
And
Where can they find the links?
come again?
Where can everyone find the links to those Udemy courses? Do they follow you on Twitter? Do they?
So the Udemy courses, they started as open videos on YouTube. So the same video courses are in our playlists on YouTube. But if you want, you can check them on Udemy, whichever platform is better for you. So you can just search on Udemy for Cartesi and the courses will all appear for you. Or you can go in our YouTube or our individual Twitters. So it's mine for Python, Chinonso's for Rust, Enrique's for Go, and Shahin's for JavaScript. And you will have access to whichever professor's type of teaching you prefer or language that you prefer to approach this. Because this is one of the advantages of Cartesi, right? Build however you want with whichever resources you want.
Yeah.
And yeah, besides this, we did a bunch of experimentation with Avail. It's going to be one of the tracks we are doing at If Global. So not just our regular generalist build your own dApp track, but we also have a Avail integration one. I don't want to spoil too much how this is going, because you're going to be hearing this more later here in the recap. So I'm just creating some hype here for the future guests, right? Anyway, this led us to create some resources like a full resource page outside of the official docs. So we have docs for experimentations we're doing right now. It's under docs.mugen.builders if you want to check it out. where we can add this kind of tutorials and different things that are not official yet. So we also did a blog post on how to win hackathons. This is fun, so give it a read. It's gonna come out this week at some point. And yeah, some tooling around it, updating frameworks, updating NPM packages, creating a CLI to interact with this whole interaction. And this is going to be very nice to get a first idea on how builders can start playing with these integrations and unlocking different applications that we haven't thought of before, and getting some feedback on our developer experience as well, right? I think this is very important.
That's awesome. I think I'll have to rest a lot after DevCon, huh? Maybe take a few days
right
just to
after
sleep.
Then we'll have V2 coming out, so let's see how it goes.
Thank you, João.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Just a quick comment. As soon as João entered the chat, our viewers shot up on Twitter or on X. So remember to share, retweet, also like on YouTube and so on, so more people can see all these awesome things coming up. Yeah, let's go to the next one, Eric.
The next one is eco growth updates.
Nice.
Welcome, guys. GM. Super happy to be here again. Excited with DevCon around the corner. The vibes are here, and it's for me. It's every time that I'm here on this recap and I see what's being built in Cartesi. It's mind blowing, right? We see steady and growing the amount of amazing project that, if we say 2 years ago, anyone could build something like Rives or Bugbuster or Comet or any of those projects in blockchain, people say that we are dreaming, right? And we see Cartesi doing that is unbelievable, amazing. And this is continuing. Part of the updates that I have on eco growth here is connected with that, right? We are seeing now Cartesi protocol stack being used to address real world problems, right? So university researchers in Brazil are partnering up with municipalities to tackle smart cities applications using Cartesi protocol stack, which is amazing stuff. Also happening in Buenos Aires, a municipality San Isidro, Think and Dev is partnering up with the municipality to address smart city applications using Cartesi protocol stack. And this is once more showing the potential of Cartesi doing to create applications that solves real life people's problem, right? Together with that, what we have is initial integration tests with a new protocol called CAMP-L2, which has a value proposition of bringing data from socials as a feed to get more expressive, I'll say, inputs on applications. So we're testing with them what is possible, and the first integration that we're doing is with Rives, which makes a lot of sense, right? You get the sentiments on the socials about the cartridge that's been built, and you can play with this information in the best possible way with applications. So we are in the early stages of this integration and excited to see that unfolding. And to give more content and more insights in what are happening with those amazing integrations in Brazil with the government, with the municipalities, and in Argentina, I would love to bring two ecosystem Cartesians, Damien and Professor Guto, Damien from Argentina and Professor Guto from Brazil. I'd like to invite them on stage. While they're joining, Felipe, can you pass for the other slide just to wrap up my presentation here and give the mic to our guests? So why those things are important, right? We are seeing this necessity that the whole blockchain community is searching for. There's a kind of a soul search on, are blockchain really useful and for what? Right? What are the tangible applications? What are the tangible use cases beyond DeFi? And Cartesi protocol stack is helping the community giving such answers by bringing to life real use cases that are required to be verifiable and make sense to be verifiable, and that's what we're doing with Jamie, Professor Guto. both of you, thank you very much to join our presentation today. I'd love to have you guys sharing a little bit more insights of what you're doing with Cartesi and the respectful ecosystems.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Bruno.
Hello, Damian Guto. Welcome.
Hello.
So, who is first, Guto or me?
I think it's you.
Okay. So, this is something for us really important. We have been working on something similar that was part of the first wave of the grant one, that was the OCR detector from plates. And we keep advancing with this project with all the support that Cartesi gives us. And we luckily can say you that we already signed a contract with the municipality of San Isidro to mount an IoT device connected to the Cartesi machine. What is this important? Because what we have talking with the municipality is that can be one of the first way to give incentive to the people that is in that municipality to create new different kind of device. For example, this will be a noise pollution sensor. If you have any trouble on the door of your house, you can pay with your neighborhood, with all of your neighbors for a new device, and you will be getting rewards from the municipality and discount on your taxes, or maybe we have to figure it out on later. But for us was extremely difficult to go to all the levels of the government to get this contract signed. So this is huge, and I think that the potential for this project is amazing. Because when we can finish the process, they say, okay, how can we scale it and put it on every single light post on the municipality? Wait, we have to try for the first one and go for next. So this is huge for us, and I want to say thank to all the ecosystem, all the support that we have, because I don't know if we can get it here with all the support that we have.
Congrats on signing the contract. That's amazing.
Thank you.
It's amazing. I'm also very happy to see you guys working on real use cases that are innovative and have a practical, real effect potentially in society. So congratulations, and I want to see how this unfolds.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Should
So
I go to the next slide?
turn. Yeah.
All right. Welcome, Guto.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thanks for the invitation, Bruno. It's a pleasure to be here. Felipe, Eric, it's really nice to see the growth of Cartesi. I have been a fan of this tech since 2 years ago, I think, when I started to learn about it. And I have always a lot of students try to understand and to play with that. So that's really exciting to be here. So from my side, I have a few things to tell you what's going on here at the university. The first one is we have just signed a new collaboration with the municipality of Niterói. So Niterói is a city that's very connected to the university, because we have a huge university inside a small city. So the mayor is very close to the university. In this collaboration agreement that we have, we are trying to solve a few real problems for the city. The first one is related to the public transportation. I mean, the public transportation here, the contract with the buses, the transport system cooperative, basically we need to control the time of the buses, the amount of buses is running during the day and during night. And basically they do these manually. And what we want to do is use a blockchain-based solution that integrate these all the buses on real time, update the lat long, and control if the number or the amount of buses and the timetable and the route that they are running is exactly as the contract agreement says that has to be. And once this is verified, the company is basically gonna receive the payment based on what the contract is being run and verified. So this is the first problem. The second problem that this agreement is gonna happen is that the app that the citizen can use to verify the buses that is closed and which itinerary and route that they should take there is one option that they can complain about the system. For example, if if the bus is dirty, or if the bus is not on the time, or if the driver is stopping far away from the bus stop or things like that, they can make a complaint, and this complaint should be done and have the user has a way to follow how is this complaint being treated by the government and also for the company, right? So those two initiatives are being starting to be developed by the university that's going to be delivered for the municipality. And all of these on the top of Cartesi for more transparency and all the other possibilities. Another thing that's going on here is that there is a new agreement in between the university, or actually my team, and one startup. The startup is they have some solutions for carbon control, and there is one of those points is the electric bike of the universities. So we are developing an app that has to be launched for all the students to use the bike, and they have some credits of carbon when they use the bike. So all of these is going to be controlled by a dApp that's running on the top of Cartesi. So those are the two real cases for the being developed by the university. And the third thing that I want to update is recently I got approved a new funding project by the Brazilian government. The Brazilian government, in partnership with the RNP, that is, I don't want to get much detail of this agency, but they created an observatory of blockchain in Brazil. And they basically offer for universities and startups and some companies a huge amount of infrastructure for running blockchain. And it's based on Besu and Hyperfabric. And my team got a founding project that's gonna offer or implement on the top of Besu the possibility of all the community use Cartesi. So the first objective is to create an API that offers all the community and the communities, all the Brazilian universities that want to experiment with blockchain can use Cartesi in this infrastructure. And as a plan is once we have these, we are going to offer some solutions based on machine learning and machine unlearning. I don't know if you know this terminology, but machine unlearning is something that's coming next with the possibility of unlearning something that you learned with machine. This is a new technology. So this is something that will be part of the project. And so we are very excited about this. And sorry if I speak it too much, but as a professor, we always have a lot of things to say.
Thank you so much, and yeah, it's great to see things going forward and your enthusiasm, and I'm very curious to see how things go. So please keep bringing the updates to us.
I think so. It's so cool to see Cartesi being adopted by universities and also now by cities themselves. I think that's super exciting. And I'll definitely look up machine learning. Had never heard of that before. So
yeah, if you give me just 1 minute, yeah, I think there is a very high synergy between machine learning and blockchain, because how to prove that you really unlearn it and you train it everything with this data set, blockchain is going to be a good way to prove that.
That's amazing. Thank you, Guto.
Thank you.
See you around. All right. Now for the CGP, the Cartesi Grants Program. Hello, Helen.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm super excited to provide a quick update on the Cartesi Grants Program. For context, the grants program's mission is really to support and grow the number of value-aligned builders in the ecosystem. And the nature of the program is that it operates iteratively. And the purpose for the iterative nature is to give the opportunity for both the community and the Grants Council to learn and refine how we allocate capital and to maximize the impact of the projects that we are funding. And so far, the program started with the pilot, and then we moved to wave 1. And recently, the Grants Council made a proposal on the governance forum to renew the grants program for wave 2. In this proposal, the Grants Council is proposing 5 intents for wave 2 of CGP. And the purpose of the intents is to align the community and the ecosystem around common goals. And all the work, what this means is that all the work that will be done and supported by CGP in wave 2 will be in pursuit of those intents. And the intents can either be achieved through either community proposals or RFPs. By community proposals, the idea is that the community members will be able to submit proposals for their own ideas under any of the intents. And for the RFPs, the plan is that anyone in the ecosystem can submit an RFP proposal on the governance forum that will go through a discussion, and then based on the discussion, the Grants Council can adopt the RFP, and community members can submit proposals under any of the RFPs. This proposal is now live on Snapshot. We just put the proposal now. So if you are staking CTSI, you should be able to vote on the proposal, and we encourage everyone to vote. The voting period is between today, November 4th, up to November 11th, 12 p.m. UTC. So feel free to go to Snapshot Vote and make your voice heard. And yeah, we are happy to answer any questions around the governance proposal or just any questions around the program on either Cartesi Discord, or you can reach out to us on the forum as well.
Yeah, I think that's a very important change that you are helping to bring on Wave 2, Helen, around the intents and also around the idea of RFPs that are aligned with these intents. Also in a way that people, community members can come and try to think of RFPs that are useful for the development of Cartesi. So the ability for people to participate is increasing by the day. So I think it's very nice, and I want to see how it goes from here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm also super excited. I personally think that Wave 2 is really going to make it easier for the community to contribute to the Cartesi ecosystem as well. So yeah, looking forward to that as well.
That's
all right,
awesome.
thank you.
Thank you, Helen. All right. Now the real nerdy stuff. Not that the things before weren't nerdy. I think our entire industry is a little bit nerdy, but I think now for the deep core tech, let's
Hello
start with hello, Milton.
Can you hear me?
Welcome. Yes. A nice stand going up on. Did you go to the beach this weekend?
To the mountains. So there's a lot going on. We have some news on several fronts. First one, on the Cartesi Rollups node front. Node has been fully rewritten. So it's a V2 node that's there. It's running. It's doing its job. And what this means is that now Cartesi Rollups V2, which the contracts have been maturing for a while, and the Cartesi emulator has evolved a lot, several new features, and the missing link for a full Rollups V2 solution was the node itself, and now the node is there, it's running. It's not generally available yet. This is an alpha release, but it's enough for us to start testing the full solution. So Rollups v2 is getting ready. So what this means, the node achievement means that this is now lays the groundwork, the foundation for us having a leaner and more flexible implementation of the node, which is helps us not only like curate the code easier, but mostly add new features much easier. So there were a lot of features that the community was demanding, and it was in our roadmap. And as it goes in software, right, in general, you do an implementation, it's working, it's great, but it's always good to learn from it. And then at some point, software needs to be rewritten. This is common in software industry, and this is now done. And what this brings along on these new features, so it already comes with multi-application support, so you can have a single node and it runs multiple machines. This is very important for node operators, so this will make it more feasible for like node operators to run with cheaper costs and be more flexible. It also brings along a solution that was much needed in the community for scaling inspect requests. So now every inspect request forks a machine and it doesn't block any more advances. So this was like a recurring demand from the community. It also comes already with some very important changes that are crucial for getting Dave, our fraud-proof algorithm, working in production. So a technical term is output unification. So it changes how things are encoded down there, vouchers, notices, and things like that. And this makes the fraud-proof system much more feasible and auditable. And finally, another thing that the new node brings along is the possibility of isolating the way that we read the inputs, the transactions that come into the machine. And you can actually implement some alternative ways of reading these inputs. And we've been actually experimenting a lot on that front, and the next slides will go through that. But for any discussions about the node itself, you can go to the node R&D channel or just tag us on the technical coordination unit or the Rollups reference unit to get more info about it.
The image is quite fitting, huh?
Yeah.
So nice. So excited about Rollup Node v2. Very happy that it's coming along well. I think it's gonna unlock lots of cool things on Cartesi, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So congratulations on everyone.
Yeah,
for everyone
congratulations
involved.
for the people involved, Victor Fusco, Marcelo, and everyone.
That was a huge one.
Yeah.
That was a huge one. Congrats to everyone.
Huge
I
achievement.
think people may not know how much work, dedication, effort, sweat, maybe a bit of tears were behind.
And just
pulling off
here,
this
the node
version.
is the nexus, right? It's the one that
Yeah.
connects everything. So it connects
Yes.
the later, connected to the contrast, and connected to the client. So this is the critical piece of software.
It's a critical piece, and we're very happy that we came together.
Cheers. So as I said, one of the things that it allowed us to do is to have alternative ways of reading inputs to the machine. And this allows us to have some integration. So we've been experimenting with integration with Espresso and Avail, which basically allows us to take advantage of alternative DAs and decentralized sequencing as well. So we have integrations running on top of Rollups v2 alpha. So we have this alpha release of the node. It has a full feature set, so it's running. We are not generally like releasing it for the general community because we're still going to go through a lot of more auditing and testing. But it's running. It's good enough for us to experiment. So on the Espresso integration is a little bit more mature. We have already 3 applications that are experimenting this new integration. Some of them showed up here. So we have DCA Monster, the DeFi application. We have Comet, which is a social application, and also drawing canvas. So these are all integrated. We have this experimental integration. We have the steps to adapt an existing application to make use of Espresso. And these are going to be demoed at DevCon, so they're pretty much ready and going to be running on Espresso's testnet. We also have been playing around with integrating with Avail, which also gives us some nice cheap DA. Avail is actually already itself in mainnet. Espresso is getting there. This is still more work to do, but it's good enough for us to run a hackathon. So we're going to run a hackathon at DevCon with this. Very, very excited about it, so that people can experiment and see like use cases and how much like having your data in Avail or in Espresso opens up doors for applications, right? So again, this is not generally available. It's not for production. We are doing these experiments. We're putting some stuff there. We want to see how people react, how the applications behave, and learn from them, right? And then we can have a real release for people to use in production.
So let me say that again. We're going to have a hackathon, Cartesi and Avail in Bangkok very soon.
And some apps on top of Espresso. Huh? I think it's so cool for many reasons. I think it's always nice to see other projects seeing the value on Cartesi. And it's always also very nice to interact with these other projects. They also have super cool solutions that they're working on. So these relationships are what make Web3 impressive, right? So you can each focus on what we do best. In our case, we're the best execution environment out there. And they can focus on sequencing and DAs and so on. And you can all get some value from each other and provide that to everyone else. So that's super, super cool. We have another slide.
If you go back just a bit, so this is cheap and fast transactions possible on mainnet, right? So this using some other layer like this, we can have Cartesi as L2 and not as L3 as we've been using mostly to get cheap and fast transactions. And there also it opens up new possibilities, as you said, when you get Espresso or something like that, you open up possibilities of fast bridging between applications and basically a future promise of deeper app composability, which is what these other projects are aiming for, right? So as you said, once, now you go to the next slide, once we start like cooperating with these other projects, and each project has their own like expertise, they are dedicated to certain fronts. And so when we get these together, we can have, as I said, like a great execution layer that Cartesi provides with the solution that these guys are working on. And we can explore the use cases with them. So if everybody works together to try to bring the industry as a whole, like to build useful applications, to explore new possibilities that weren't possible before. And especially if you're talking about like modular landscape, these modular projects need to work together and give a great developer experience for the builders, right? So this is all about in the end.
And that brings us back to what we're discussing at the beginning of the recap today about the severe problem of fragmentation on Ethereum and how we are together, protocol projects working to fix that, right? And I think that's a very good example of what we're doing with Avail, with Espresso. It has been a very, very interesting, successful journey so far, and that gives us hope that very soon the ecosystem will be much better.
Yeah, super cool. Thank you, Milton. That was great. All right, next up we have Rollups contracts.
Hey guys, today is a quick update. It's not a...
I think you have the live stream playing in the background.
Today is a quick update. Sorry, I'm having some echo because I was listening on YouTube too. So it's not a huge update.
That's an impressive ability to multitask, my friend.
For composability and for making it easier for people to use the contracts. So now releases, we're also releasing as an artifact on GitHub both the APIs and the deployment addresses of the deployed smart contracts, and also an Envil stance, Envil state with the contracts already deployed. So if you have a product in Go or a project in Rust, for example, and you want to interact with the contracts, you don't need to install npm just for that to get the recent version of the contracts. You can just get the artifacts from GitHub. Also, if you have a front end and you want to have the artifacts for that fixed version, you don't have to use npm. You can just download the ABIs and put in your front end folder. And if you want to deploy your own contracts on top of the Cartesi stack, you can already download the Envil state, spin up an Envil node, and do whatever you want with it. So yeah, it really helped. It was a request from the node task force to have this to reduce their dependencies, and I think it was great for the ecosystem overall.
It makes it easier for everyone to experiment. One less dependency. And npm is a big one, yeah. I think Pedro is not listening to us anymore, hearing us, but yes. We can hear him, so that's fine. All right.
Yeah, I have some problem with sound here. I can only hear you on YouTube.
The important thing is that we can hear you.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
All right. Thank you, Pedro. Bye-bye. So we have some co-processors. Hello, Carsten.
Hello. Yeah, so I think this is actually my first time presenting at the actual, let's say, recap here. So just to kind of like explain to everybody else, the compute team is making the Cartesi coprocessor. And what we have done recently is that we have put out a kind of pre-production mainnet coprocessor. And a coprocessor in this particular case is like something where you're using cryptoeconomic security in order to kind of like get computation done with a set of operators and things like eigenlayer. And we have deployed this. It's ready for experimentation. If you go to the Cartesi coprocessor channel on Cartesi Discord, you will be able to see two things, which is one, a Python tutorial for basically how would you integrate your smart contract with the Cartesi coprocessor. How does it fit into kind of like your normal development flow on Cartesi, and then you can also see a video of us taking the Rives Doom replay and kind of like our previous version here, and seeing how that is actually, let's say, possible to do and integrated to a smart contract in this particular case. And why this is important? And the reason why this is important is because many of the use cases of Cartesi virtual machine doesn't necessarily always need to have a state. So it's something where, let's say, you need to call out from a smart contract, call your Cartesi machine with a particular input and get called back with the outputs of the execution. So from a technical point of view, when you're making a notice or another kind of output inside your virtual machine, basically that will get settled back into your smart contract as a variable in your call. And where does it kind of like fit into the bigger picture of things? Like there's a lot of buzz right now about cryptoeconomic coprocessors, LVMs, the fact that we're able to do attributable fault in these, which is something that many other coprocessors can't do. And yeah, that's pretty much it from here. And if you want to hear more, visit us at Discord.
I recently saw a demo from Cartesi coprocessors that made me super excited. And I heard through the vines that you're going to be on AVS Day presenting something. You're going to plug that
yes.
maybe?
Yes, so on AVS Day in DevCon, we'll be participating with some other kind of like co-processors in the eigenlayer space on AVS Day. I think it's on the 14th, I'm not completely sure. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll be talking a little bit about that, but we'll also be available and kind of like attending some other events in the space and kind of get people to know more about Cartesi.
That's awesome.
That's great. Thank you. And I think with that, we close the core updates for today, it seems. There is much more happening, but I think that's all for today. And of course, I guess next time other teams would come and bring what they're doing.
Yeah, I think to close it off, we have the community shout out, right? Do you want to do this one, Eric, or should I?
Go ahead.
So the community shout out for this edition is to add Nakipno. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, but from the Rives community, he apparently created 3 game cartridges. Eric, isn't that impressive? And 2 of them made into the contest lineup, so that's so cool. And
That's
everyone's
really cool.
playing that. Yeah, we have a game maker on our hands.
And I wonder how long it takes for him to create each cartridge.
I think he's
I
a
heard
very
that
good
some people can
coder.
code a cartridge in a few hours. Is that true?
Yeah, I heard that as well. People should try it out. Or maybe ask Ed. He also won 2 of the Rives Games Jam, so he's an all-star.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Right.
I think that's part of the democratic view that Max is trying to bring forth with Rives, right? It should be easy to create cartridges, it should be easy to play and create an economy around it. So congratulations.
All right, I think that's it. We passed a little bit on our predicted time, but I think it was quite nice, Eric. It got me super excited.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see you here in Bangkok and see all the others as well.
That's it.
It's going to be a fun week.
I'm excited. All right.
Yeah. All right.
We have a lot of viewers.
Best.
Yeah. All the best to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you next time.